Hey guys, Nick from Millburn here, joined by, as always, Paul, just a fan. Just got back from the Prudential Center. Tough loss tonight, 69-64 to UConn. And, before we get into it, UConn is a very, very good basketball team. Number 3 team in the country. They have better players than us. Okay, it's obvious. They run this offense that he's taken off of the Euro League, high ball screens, good cuts, and it was very effective in the first half. We are a scrappy defensive team who are in every single basketball game, and we hit one 3-point shot tonight, one, and we almost beat the number 3 team in the country. We were down one, and they had the ball, and we fouled, and then it was all downhill from there. But they're UConn, and Shaheen Holloway, we love him. He got a T. I don't know if it was on purpose or not, but then I saw Danny Hurley go absolutely insane, lose it, worse than Shaw, to Big East senior official John Gaffney, and John took it, and he took it, and he took it some more, and he didn't give him a tee back, and that like bothers me because that reminds me of the treatment Willard got against Jay Wright. You got guys, you got to be fair. If someone's calling you this, that, and the other thing, and screaming and showing you up, I don't care who they are. I don't care if they're Jay Wright, Danny Hurley, Bobby Knight, Hank Iba, John Wooden. You got to have some, what, and do the T. All in all, I know coming into this game, Paul, you said house money. It's still, you're 25th team in the country, playing the number 3 team in the country at home, packed, loud, national television. You still feel that way?
Well, I'm of two minds tonight, Nick. To be that close, to be that point at one point in that game, and to not very, very disappointing. But I also feel like we've shown the country tonight that certainly, and we've certainly shown our own fans and ourselves that we can play with anybody. We looked as rattled as anybody else we've played when we put the press on. Luca, UConn looked as bad they have looked all season in the last 5 or 6 minutes of this game. So while I would have liked one more basket, 5 more foul shots, maybe 1, 2 more threes, and walk away with a 72-69 win, it's very hard to be too disappointed at number one, the way the game played, and number two, the outcome. So I'm now I believe now that we've solidified ourselves in the top half, it's going to be very important to go to Hinkle Field House on Saturday and win.
Or no, we're home.
We
We're
can't
home.
afford to
No,
lose.
no, it's home.
Home on Saturday, okay.
Yeah, and
But
one
we've
thing
got to
before
be.
Christina, wait, sorry to interrupt you, Christina. I don't see it on Surge. It's not on Surge because I'm trying to share it. Go on, Paul. I'm sorry.
Well, I was going to say that we've got to.
Yes, it
When
is,
we were
Dad.
talking last week to Brian, and so when we were talking last week to Brian, we talked about how there were 2 tiers in the league, and we wanted to stay in the top half. And so that means we're going to have to beat Butler twice, beat Providence twice, beat twice, beat DePaul twice, and that means going on the road and winning. The Butler game now, to me, is very important to keep ourselves top half of the league. We lost to UConn, we've lost to Villanova, we haven't lost to anybody we're supposed to beat, and I think that that's going to be the key the rest of the season. It's also nice, Nick, to have games we're supposed to win, because in November we're supposed to win any games, and now we're talking about Butler as a game we're supposed to win. So I think that that's an enormous improvement over where we were at the start of the season. Um, I'd like to go through the game a little bit, Nick. I want to
Yeah,
keep talking.
no, go for a while. Go for a few minutes, and
So
I'm going to bring Tom O'Brien on.
Let's talk a little bit about first of all your point on the technical foul. Um, when Coach Holloway got that foul, we were down 16, and it started to spur the comeback. So I don't know whether he did it on purpose to get the team fired up or not, but it certainly did pull the team together. Um, I thought that Bud Clark fouling out with 20 seconds left was pretty important. I think that we would have had a better possession after the Demery foul shots if Clark had been on the court. Um, but from the look at the positives, the Jai Hines, 10 points and 7 rebounds on 3 of 7 shooting. Williams had 16 points. Clark had 12 points on 6 of 10 shooting. And Parker was also effective with 9. We were 1 of 16 from 3, which is atrocious, and we missed 10 foul shots. So we did not play our best game. And had we played our best game, and I think that is very encouraging to me, that had we gone out,
But Paul, let me
made some more
say this
shots,
because I said
played
this
a
to
little
the
bit
kids
better.
on Hall Line. Do you think the reason that they didn't look so good because of our defense? Because they didn't look like Connecticut, but that was us. So when you say our best game, you mean our best offensive game, correct?
I mean our shooting, because I thought defensively
Right.
we made them. They didn't look bad because they were playing bad because our press bothered them. Our
Right.
press bothers everybody. I don't think there's anybody in the country who, when that press gets fired up, um, it, and and if you noticed, Hurley did something very smart. Um, when we pressed Villanova and when we pressed Creighton, they did not have the additional ball come up in the middle of the of the court to get that big pass. So we were trapping in the able to get some turnovers. I thought that we play. I thought that UConn, by the way, shot defense. Um, when our half-court defense is playing as well as it does, other teams, because the open look isn't as open, and the three-point shooters rush the shot a little bit, and that's enough to have them miss. So we did a great job. Excuse me. We had a great job on defense, keeping UConn from hitting threes. The real mismatch was Reed, and we did not have um, a big man who would contest with him inside defensively. He was able to get, I believe he got, I'm going to take a quick look here. Reed got 21 points and 9 rebounds on 8 of 13 shooting. And he missed 8 foul shots, or he could have had 27, 28 points.
But he
So
hit one. But he hit one down the stretch that mattered. He hit a big one.
Well, him and Silas DeMary were very, very good from the foul line when it was the most important. Again, hard to get too upset about playing the number 3 team in the country and being down a point with 30 seconds left. I think we showed. I think we showed the country anybody, and I think that we showed the country that UConn isn't. UConn's great. They are a tremendous team, and offensively they have a lot more options and a lot of other teams certainly than we do. But they are beatable, and I don't think certainly nobody played harder than UConn. Of anybody we've played this, I don't think we've seen anybody play harder than UConn played tonight.
UConn is a very good team.
5.
UConn is a very good team, and they deserve their ranking. They're one of the best teams in the country. But if I'm any team in the Big East, I do not want to play Seton Hall in the Big East tournament. And if I'm any team in the country, I don't want to play Seton Hall in the NCAA tournament. Let Christina get Tom O'Brien on. Tom, Tom, I love your gear today. What's going on? My
Cold
guy,
here in
Coach
North
Tom from
Carolina.
North Carolina. What's going on?
It's cold here.
Tom, your thoughts.
You pretty much have, you know, I had no expectations that we were going to win the game. I wanted to keep it under 8. It's a quad win. I'm sorry, it's a quad loss, 1. I look at that. The stat that I look at, I don't know if you guys look at, is points per possession. We were .99. They were 1.07. So if we hit two more threes, we win.
And we only hit 1. So yeah.
Right. So on an offense, we were definitely on an offensive that we just didn't shoot well from the perimeter. Nick, and I said this before when they went on that 16-0 run, we didn't make any adjustments on defense because all of their points, 80% of their points were inside the paint, which they were setting off-ball screens, and that's why their big man got a lot of opportunities there. Why couldn't we do some type of zone, sprinkle in a zone from time to time there to offset it a little bit? Because we were
I loved what as a coach, I was mesmerized by what they were running tonight. I mean, they were running Euro stuff. It was really, it was very detailed, very good stuff. But you're right, like just mix it up a little bit. They had a tough time with our press, but in the half court offense, they were textbook.
Yeah. So everything, like I said, 80% of their points were inside, and Paul, you said they were 3 of 17 from downtown. I mean, that's obviously not a good stat. That's why I think a zone, just to see how they react to a zone, because Hurley was preparing for full out, man to man, end to end, and I don't know. I think if Shaw had thrown out there, is this a good loss? There's never a good loss in my book. Actually, coach basketball, we had our first loss this past Saturday, and I told the boys it's just one game. Just one game. We're gonna face these guys in the playoffs.
But it wasn't a bad loss, right? We don't have a bad loss. Right. We don't have a bad loss.
No, not at all. Not at all. I mean, you were at the game. The crowd was all into it, right, Nick?
It was electric. It was as loud as I've seen that place. And it was almost as if when we were fighting back, everyone was like, we've done this before. We can do this again.
Here it comes. Here it comes. Yeah. Here comes the train. And that's what the announcers were saying. Like, this is what Seton Hall thrives on. With 6-7 minutes to go, whether they're down 10 or 15, the train goes. How do we react after this tough loss? Let's see. This Saturday, who do we got? We got
Butler at home at noon.
Okay. Yeah. That could be a. Got to be careful on that one.
That's a must win. We have to win.
Oh, yeah, that would definitely.
We're 3-0 on the road, 1-2 at home.
Yeah, can't lose that one there. But overall, I saw Godswell get in the game. He looked totally lost out there.
Again.
Yeah, the game is just too quick, and he's worried about where he has to be positioned and not feeling it. And I guess we kind of needed to use him because Payne got in a little foul trouble. Hines didn't, but he was running up and down the court, needed a breather. I guess because look at the stat. He got 2 minutes of playing time, but he looked totally lost out there. That's okay. We needed him to come off the bench and give us a couple minutes. That's fine. Going forward, I guess if we can improve that 3-point shooting, Jesus, if we hit 2 more.
I know.
My son's in Colorado. He's a big Seton Hall fan. He's like, Dad, if we hit 2 more threes, our points possession would have been at like 1.4. That's good enough. That's good enough. And I'm like, 2 more threes. Well, that's basketball, boys. I mean, sometimes it goes in, sometimes it doesn't. Free throws, we pretty much matched them, right? I think we're at 60%. Paul, so were they.
Mhm.
Yep.
Both
But
teams.
I will tell you this, because my friends at NC State, they watched Seton Hall. And said, oh, you guys came back against Creighton. Yeah, we did. Oh, see, you came back against Georgetown. I go, nobody in the ACC wants to play Seton Hall.
Nobody in the country wants to play
Nobody.
Seton Hall.
I'm talking.
Nobody.
I'm talking. I got a lot of friends at UNC, and they're like, "Yeah, you guys are a pain in the ass." I go,
We don't give up.
I mean, we're in your grill from the ball's tipped until that buzzer ends at the end. So it hurts, but not as bad. If we got blown out, Nick, Paul, if we did, that would take us a step back. There was no step backs tonight.
All right, Tom,
Absolutely.
thank you, my guy.
Absolutely
Please
not.
come on after Butler. Got some other
Yeah.
people that want to go on. Appreciate you so much, Tom.
All right,
Appreciate
y'all
it.
have a good night.
Good night.
Love the show. Love the show.
Thank you, brother. We got Ryan T. Luigi, what's up? We're gonna go, and then we got someone from the press conference actually. So Luigi, did you actually watch the game tonight?
Yes, I did.
Okay, your thoughts on the game?
I mean, obviously the latter part of the game I liked a lot better than the first part. I think the frustrating thing is that obviously it's amazing that they came back the way that they did, but you didn't have to lose that game. There were moments at the end in those last minute or so that you could have put that game into your own spot. And I think that was what was frustrating to me. The Bud Clark has got to, I can't see him getting fouled out as when he did. But from the positive side of things, pardon me, excuse me. From the positive side of things, like you guys said, it was right down to the last minute. We spent this, the periods of time where we kept them from scoring for, I think it was 5 or 6 minutes. It was neither team had a good night shooting from outside. So, that didn't end up working against us as much as it could have. But I just fundamental. I think just buttoned up. I think they just need to be working on those little detail things. And I know that Coach Shaw obviously always emphasizes that. And I think that you keep moving on that progression. I mean, we all know that 6 months ago, this team doesn't come anywhere near winning that game. So the turnaround has been significant. The turnaround has been great to see. And, they got to put themselves in a position where the next time they're in a game like this, they're coming out with a W.
So you're saying good experience, right? It's a good experience. You played the number 3 team in the country, and you were down 1 point with less than a minute to go.
Absolutely a good experience. Like the gentleman who was just on before me said, there's no such thing as a quote unquote good loss, but this is about as close to that as you can have. And I think that, like you said, experience, I think, is a great way to frame it, because this is the type of game that you're going to have to deal with if you get into the tournament in 2 months and you want to have at least some sort of been there, done that type of, something to go off of in order to be able to execute in those moments when you have to have those things more buttoned up, when you have to have those details down, when you can't be making some of those little, nuanced mistakes that sometimes held us back at times.
Yeah, and this isn't about getting yourself in a position to be a top 25 team. Even though if we beat Butler on Saturday, we're still going to be ranked. No, they're not going to drop us for losing to UConn at home and beating Butler.
No.
But this is about resume building and just getting yourself ready. And like I said before, I don't think any team in the country wants to play us. We're tough.
I don't think so. And you guys know that I was somebody who I was a little bit, wait and see on us after a couple of our good wins back in December. I was, I wanted to be more patient. But this is a team that has done a remarkable amount of turnaround. About, again, what is it, 6 months? Not even.
Yeah.
And again, can't have Bud Clark fouling out when he did. I can't talk. Can't have some of these other situations where certain guys are going. I can't remember which player it was, but somebody went several shots in a row without making one.
Well, you can't go hitting 1 3-point shot, right? You can't hit 1 3.
Yeah, that also. And so it's like all those different components where there was not really one area today where we just completely it wasn't that, oh, we got completely walloped on the boards, or, oh, we got completely drenched in this. It was just these little execution things in a couple different areas. Just we weren't quite right where we needed to be. We were just below where we needed to be.
And we remind ourselves we were playing a very, very good basketball team with a very, very good coach.
Absolutely. I'll say this. UConn is not happy that they just almost lost this game to us right now.
And that's the perfect segue, because we're going to talk about UConn and we're going to talk about Danny. Christina, put UConn Jake McCraven in. Jake, what's up?
Hello.
How you doing? Where are you now?
I'm in my hotel room right now. Just got
wow, that's quick. That was quick.
Yeah.
Jake's the UConn guy, and he was at the press conference. And what were they talking about? Well, first, give me your thoughts as a UConn guy from the UConn point of view, and then what happened inside the press conference.
Well, I've been lucky enough to have the opportunity to, follow this team around almost every corner of the country, and, go to a bunch of these fancy arenas, these storied arenas. And I think tonight was by far the loudest I have seen.
Really?
In the not named Gamble Pavilion.
Wow.
That was something else. I had to take ibuprofen when I came home. I had a headache. I needed, something to get this head pain away. But, I think everyone in the building knew that this was going to be a game like this. Obviously from the historical perspective, UConn can't win the Prudential Center. That's what I wrote my preview about. That was the headline. And when Williams hit that three, my heart was in my stomach. You're thinking, I've seen this movie before. I have been here year after year after year. I just think that UConn had the edge, mostly from a free throw perspective more than anything else, but also, they had the composure. Caravan, Demery, so composed. They're veterans, and they Hurley has them there for a reason, and they performed tonight.
What do you think about Seton Hall tonight?
I think Hurley said in the press conference, he said it maybe 4 or 5 times. He said, if I am watching the selection show in March and I see Seton Hall next to my team's name, like, I am grimacing. I do not want to play Seton Hall. I want to avoid them at all costs. He kind of worded it like that, something like that. I don't know the exact quote, but he said that this team is exactly how Shaheen has, wanted to build them. It's just a rock solid, tough team that is hard to beat, difficult to beat, especially here.
Now, you saw the T on Shaheen, right?
Yep.
Didn't it seem Danny maybe was a little bit more? Yeah. You want to talk about that?
Well, Shaheen, in his press conference, he said that, he doesn't think it was a good, technical foul for himself. He said that, it's just not up to my standards as coach. But he said that what he said to the ref was, how is that a foul, not a jump ball? And that's what he was awarded the technical foul for. So he wasn't exactly happy with the refs for, getting a technical foul for that. But I didn't actually hear it. My boss, who was sitting next to me, heard it and said, he didn't say anything bad. He just got teed up for no reason.
All right. Now what about Danny? Danny seemed to be Danny almost crossed the coach's line.
Yeah, well, I looked
Mike
over.
Nardi went to pull Danny back, and Danny basically told him to get out of the way.
I looked over when UConn was on offense, going towards the student section, so it was the second half, and Shaheen was at almost mid-court on the court, and Danny was almost on the court as well. He was just about at the the exact limit that he could be in the coach's box. So they were both kind of testing their limits tonight from a coaching box perspective. But Danny always is gonna come out with some passion. That's just how he is.
Yeah.
I think I've seen him do that almost every game.
So, Jake, I got a couple of questions for you. You're following UConn all season long. There's not a lot of teams in the country that have 5 options that can score. And I thought that the difference tonight was, even when Seton Hall was coming back and I was pulling for them to come back, I would be wondering where's the points going to come from. And it seemed like with UConn, you ever have to wonder that. It's more like which guy is going to do it. Because Reed was excellent inside. That Mullins can hit shots if he do. Silas Damari can do it. We mentioned the 2 best players. So, have you seen that during the course of the season? That it's how do you stop all 5 guys?
Yeah, I think I have. Obviously, Terrace and Braylon have missed significant amounts of time with respective injuries, but Alex Caravan is so uber consistent, like the most consistent basketball player that I have seen.
Yeah.
As a reporter, maybe aside from Sarah Strong, but
he's done this, right? He's done this year, right? Because you never know anymore.
Caravan?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
No more eligibility.
Nope.
Okay.
And then Reed coming back from that in kind of slew of injuries that he had, dealing with a hamstring, and an ankle that he tweaked at BYU back in November. But Solo Ball hasn't exactly been the flamethrower that he was last year. I believe that he's floating around 31% from 3. I could be wrong, but you've gotten a few really good games from him, but you've also gotten some not good games. And the fact that Demery, especially Demery, I know he didn't light up the box score from like a scoring perspective tonight, but the things that he does for this team cannot be replaced. When you have a guy like Silas taking the ball up the court, breaking that press, breaking a Bud Clark press at that is a tough guy to get the ball across the half court line against. Yeah. And Silas did it. He is that veteran guy that they needed.
8.7 assists.
Scoop, you got anything for Jake?
Down the stretch.
Scoop. All right, Paul, and then Scoop. Paul, I'm sorry, ask that question again.
No, so I was just going to say he had 8.7 assists and a bunch of foul shots down the stretch. Now, here's my other question, and this is coming from somebody who grew up in Connecticut and therefore hates UConn. Mm-hmm. I haven't watched a lot of their games. I watched some of the Providence game, but I thought that in the last 6 minutes of this game, they looked very mortal. I don't want to say they looked bad, but they didn't look. Has there been any other stretches this season where they've looked like that when they've had their full complement of players?
Yeah, I think just because Terrace and Braylon missed that Arizona game, which is the only stain on their resume so far. Mm-hmm. It's hard to judge from that perspective, but obviously the beginning of the second half, the Providence game when they were down 13 at one point, you see it at points there. Obviously tonight, I think they did a good enough job to hold off Seton Hall tonight. Obviously they did because they won the game, but like from the free throw line, I really want to highlight Silas, just the composure, the wherewithal to manage the end of the game situation at the Prudential Center. I think that is just spectacular. But have I seen them mortal? Of course. They played sloppy against Bryant, but they ended up beating him by I want to say 20 plus. They looked sloppy against DePaul in both games, but they beat DePaul by 12 at home last week. That was not indicative of how the game actually went. And then they sloppy win in Chicago. Silas Demery throws up on the court, and that's a whole nother thing. But they have looked mortal at times, but they get right back into shape. And all it takes at that is a Dan Hurley timeout and a Dan Hurley talk in the huddle, and you're right back, where you were.
Luigi, anything for Jake? Your mic's off, Luigi.
My apologies. My laptop's like literally about to die. But I first off, thanks for jumping on tonight, Mr. McRaven. I was reading an On3 Sports article just earlier today. Excuse me, sorry. But I think I would say, or I would ask rather, if you had to identify of your team one element, whether it's 3-point shooting, whether it's rebounding, whatever it is, what do you consider your strongest element the rest of the season projectably, and what do you consider what you might have the most concern about?
I think what jumps out about UConn is the diversity of scoring. You can get scoring from wherever you really want. We kind of talked about that a little bit, but if Braylon and Solo and Alex aren't hitting from three, which is rare that all three of them are missing, but that was the case tonight, you dish it down to Eric, you dish it down to Terrace, and you get points there. Or you let Silas, pull up from the elbow, you let Solo pull up from the elbow or drive to the lane. They have so many different ways of scoring where I think that can really, really help them come March, come April even. Where would I be concerned about this UConn team? It's hard to really point out a hole, like a huge gaping hole. I think when they have these kind of lulls, especially away games in the Big East, you look at Creighton, you look at Seton Hall, you look at St. John's. Those environments are tough to play in, right? When they have these lulls, luckily Seton Hall shot 1 of 16 from 3, and they kind of staved off that comeback attempt. But if that's Creighton and Josh Dix hits 4 out of 6, and they have a lull like they did in the middle of the game, that can be cause for concern. So I think it's just kind of cleaning up those periods where they go a little dry from the field or they let up a ton of points like they did tonight.
What I'm going to do now is, and Bill Hathaway, I know you're there. I'm going to bring Frank. Are you back? I'm going to bring Frank on because Frank's the reason that we have Jake. Frank, welcome. Can you hear us?
Hey guys. Oh, I can hear you. Yeah, I'm back home now.
Got anything for Jake?
Well, Jake, it was nice to hang out with you for a little while. Jake actually got to hang out. He sat right next to Bill Hathaway.
Oh, really?
When I went down to go see my son introduced me to Jake, all of a sudden Bill comes walking right up to me. He's like, "Hey, Frank." And I'm like, "Wow, you're sitting right here." But no, you guys touched on almost everything. I mean, Paul, you brought up a lot of great points. Ryan, you too, and of course Jake. Everything that you brought from your insight, from especially from a UConn perspective, and being at the press conference, and don't forget about Tom O'Brien. I thought he brought up a lot of great points. There's really not a lot more I want to say except it was a thrilling game, and when I first left the Prudential Center, I was actually a little bit distraught. But after the ride home, I'm saying to myself, you know what, Paul, you brought it up. You said they looked mortal, but you know what, Paul, I think we're allowed to make, or we actually have the talent to make any team in the country look mortal, and
Yeah.
I'm very pleased about that. So I think we're still a work in progress. We have a little bit of ways to go. Um, I don't want to. I don't want to say it's a must game, but from the perspective of us, if we go 1-3 by losing to Butler, 1-3 at home, that's not good. So,
If we lose to Butler at home, that would be our first bad loss. Let's be honest.
oh, absolutely. But
Yeah, we
Nick,
cannot afford to lose. If we're going to be where we now think we are, we need to beat Butler at home.
we're going to have a
And
bad loss somewhere along.
And let me go
I don't know
let me
what
go
it's
one
gonna
thing
be.
further. We can't fall 15 points behind the Butler at home. We just can't.
We you know that's getting old. We got to start doing what we were doing in the beginning of the year when we were getting 16-point leads, and then trying to either hold on or maintaining those leads, like we did against US. I'm not yet. Well, USC we coughed it up, but NC State we did it.
Yeah.
Kansas State. So we gotta like play like we were at those games and stop falling behind early.
Yeah, we have to. Christina, we got a question from JD Walker. Want to put it up? JD is the JD's been on our show. JD's from the Pirate Crew. Great effort, fewer turnovers, decent or hitting. Yeah, and Butler is a must win. JD, I agree with you 100%. And you don't want to say anything's a must win because in the Big East, let's face it, you're gonna win games you aren't supposed to win, and you're gonna lose games you aren't supposed to lose. But we got Bill Hathaway with us now. Bill, how are you, sir?
I'm doing well, man. I'm doing well.
Well, let me
Yeah,
before I
Jake,
get to
man.
you,
I had, yeah.
I want to ask Jake one question, Bill. Jake, did you see anything at the end of the game with Danny in the student section? There were some reports that Danny got a little involved with them. No?
I didn't see anything. No, I wasn't looking, so I don't know if there was, but I'd assume if there was, it would be addressed at the press conference.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Someone called in Hall Line, which is our student call-in show, and I didn't know if that was true or not. That's why I wanted to ask you that. Bill, go.
Yeah, it was a great game. Second half, Seton Hall came back. They had a valid effort, but in the first half, Nick, Seton Hall didn't make their free throw shots, 5 consecutive shots. That kind of came back to haunt them in the second half. Like you said, they're one of the best teams in the country, third ranked right now. Like even Paul said tonight, Seton Hall is a dangerous team. Nobody wants to play Seton Hall, even like in the Big East tournament or the NCAA. Even Jake said at a press conference that, Hurley even said it, that they are a dangerous team. And it seemed like in the second half, they had a lot of fire after Shaheen Holloway's technical. I mean, whatever happened, happened. But I thought it was a great effort by Seton Hall. Like they in the Creighton game, they came back, but they won that one. But they came close, 69-64. It was a valid effort. Mike Williams, some key shots. Adam Clark, Najah Hines, 7 rebounds. He was key. Like this is a resume builder for Seton Hall. Seton Hall is ranked number 25 in the country right now, and they're on a they have to win against Butler. They cannot lose against Butler. I think it was a valid effort. Like we said earlier in the season, like this team is a resume NCAA factor in March. Nobody wants to play Seton Hall either at home or on the road. But they have to win against Butler. But I thought it was a great game by Seton Hall in the second half. A valid effort. No shame in Holloway's game tonight in the second half.
I think you touched on a great point, and let me just say this. This isn't about making yourself a top 25 team. This is about building a resume to get into the tournament and getting experience for that tournament. So you're 100%.
And you brought up a point like Nick, referees in the game. I thought Mike Gaffney should have checked Danny Hurley. I thought his conduct was unbecoming of a coach. Whatever he was trying to do, he was trying to get in the official's head or whatever. That's what coaches do. But I thought he went above the boards as a coach. His demeanor, I don't know. I mean, it just frustrates you looking at a coach of his caliber. Is any team like Shaheen? He got a technical. Maybe that was the key point in firing his team up. Maybe Hurley was doing the same thing. And this is basketball. This is Big East basketball, and they were on the brink of beating the number 3 team in the country. Seton Hall has no shame They have to win on Saturday.
What it reminded me of was against Jay Wright. They had another coach with 2 national championships, and Willard. And Willard getting a T, and then Jay, it just seemed like crossing that line and getting more and not getting the T. So, yeah, I think John Gaffney showed a lot of restraint with Danny tonight. I think he would have been justified if he teed Danny up. Jake, before we let you go, what's next for you in UConn?
I'm going down to, well, for the UConn men, I'm going to DC on Saturday for Georgetown in Capital One. So I'll be in DC for a couple days, but for the women's team, I'm back up in stores on Thursday night. They have a big Huskies of Honor. They're inducting a few of their national champions into the Huskies of Honor. So I'll be up there, and then I'm heading right back to DC.
Wow. Well, thank you. You're welcome anytime. We'll get you.
Thank you
We'll
for
get you
having
at
me.
least 2. We'll get you at least 2 more times.
Yep.
And the men and the women play.
Jay?
UConn.
Hey, Jay?
And,
Yep.
I have a question for you before you go. You don't have, but you're not related to Russ McKevin, are you?
I am. Yes,
There you go.
He was my grandfather. Yep.
Russ McKevin was the photographer and essentially the sports department of the local town paper in the town I grew up in. I grew up in West Haven. And in terms of a local legend, the guy was, tremendous photographer. I don't know that paper may not have had a sports section if it was father. So it's great to see you carrying on the tradition of sports journalism.
Wait a minute. Wait. Frank,
Jake,
did you plan? Frank, is this a setup? Did you plan this, Frank?
All along.
You didn't know?
Yeah,
did anyone?
all along, I wanted to get Jake and Paul on the same page.
This is, oh my God, this is great.
Wow.
Well, best of luck to you, sir.
But
Thank
Jake, did you see that one question? I think it was Brian that asked about
Christina,
solo.
put Brian. There we go.
Yeah, solo ball. Did you see that question on the bottom?
Has solo ball forgotten how to shoot? What a drop off from a shooting perspective?
Yeah, I mean, has it been that significant compared to what last year? I guess he's talking about.
Well, I mean, the 3-point numbers are definitely down from last year. I mean, if you just look at the stats, it's not as eye popping, but I think he's been dealing with a injury to his shooting wrist, his left wrist. He tweaked it a little bit before the first DePaul game in Chicago. He missed that game. He's been kind of easing back into the rotation, but I think it's just kind of a thing with all shooters. They go through slumps, they go through highs. So I think he's just going to weather this, and I think he'll be right back where he was at this time last year, hopefully in March when it's most important.
Jake, shooters need to keep shooting. That's what they say,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you, Jake.
Thank you for having me on.
A pleasure. Thank you.
All right, Jake.
You know what? Brian popped on. Great question. Let's give him, what's Brian's website? What's Brian's gig?
Well, he's the Big East Energy
So
Network.
Brian is
Big East Energy Network.
Yeah.
What is it?
Yes, he does Pirate Vibes.
Pirate Vibes.
Yeah, Brian.
Yeah, Pirate Vibes.
We had everybody comes on our show. We got JD Walker from Pirate Crew. We got Brian Webster from Pirate Vibes. We have Bill Hathaway, the unofficial mayor of Orange. Where'd he go? Bill.
Oh, I ran into Patrick Madden on the way out too. I didn't get to talk to him, but we said hi to each other. We sat next to each other.
I don't know. I mean, we could say Brian Webster, but I don't know if we all got to be loyal to Bobby. I don't know if we could say Patrick Madden on this show with Bobby.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know that.
We can say Brian Webster, but we Bobby, but we got to run that one by Bobby first.
Oh, Blackjack. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah. Gotta have fun, Bill.
So Nick, on that,
oh my God, there's 2 Bill Hathaways. What's going on?
There's 2 Bill Hathaways. We can't see either one of them.
Junior back. Yeah, can't see.
Okay, Nick, I'm sorry.
Hear us,
I actually have to go to work.
No, I do too. I do too. But I want to make a point with Bill Hathaway, and I don't know which one. Oh,
It's
there he
gonna
is. There he is. Wait. Let's try it again. Wait.
uh,
Where and he's the professional. He's the one. He's the one who gets paid for doing this. Oh, okay, thoughts on a UConn fan paying an Etsy witch to break the losing? Well, explain that to me. I'm old.
I don't believe in that. There was you saw the post. I think it was posted on our Facebook page today. Somebody you know, had like a hex put on us by some kind of witch in New England, and they said UConn by 100. And for for a second, I thought it was going to be UConn by 100, but we actually came back, and oh, I would have loved to have posted in response to that if we could have just came back. I think that's why I was so upset when I left the arena because I really wanted to
well,
jump on that post.
well, Frank, you have to consider witchcraft is a New England thing,
It
and
is.
Connecticut had its own witch trials in the 17th century, and
I
they hung
know.
some witches too. And the other thing is, people from New England, they tend to believe that if they can't win, it's because of something magical, as opposed to they just went out and got their behinds beat. I had a lot of Red Sox fans when the curse was finally reversed to point out that they had really just choked all those other times. It wasn't any curse, and then to do it Bambino, they were a bunch of choke artists, and they finally got some guys who weren't ready to take the apple all the time, and they won. No, Nick, I will be leaving the show tonight. As always, you do a great job hosting.
Will we be seeing you on Saturday?
Unfortunately, not. Well, actually, my father and his cousin are turning 90 and 87 years old, respectively, this weekend.
Wow.
So we're having a big party for them, which unfortunately me able to. I'll be driving and I won't be able to be on the show. I'm not even sure I'm going to be able to get to see the Butler game. But
Okay.
my
Well,
dad, it will be. And the terrible thing is, when we go to the show, my father will probably be wearing his St. John's sweatshirt, and his cousin will be wearing his UConn sweatshirt. So I'm going to have to break the Seton Hall gear out when we go to when we went to dinner on Saturday.
well,
Frank, great to see you as always, and Christina, you do
You too,
such
Paul.
running the show for us, even when you're exhausted 40 at night.
and Paul, thank you so much. Appreciate all that you do. That's why this show is, popularity just keeps rising. And happy birthday to your dad.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Thank you. Christina, pop yourself on for a second.
I'm sitting with the lights off.
All right, then don't pop. Just let's start. So
here.
the three of us were at the game tonight. What do you guys was that atmosphere crazy or what? Like, didn't you think that there wasn't a person in the building because we've done it so many times that didn't think we were going to do this?
Yeah, well, there was a guy. I don't know if you noticed his name. He posts a lot. His name's Tim Palladino. He wound up talking to me at halftime, and we were talking, and we started watching. First time I ever met up with him. We were watching the game, and he started saying to me, "Yeah, we are like on a different wavelength. This is a top five team." And I said to myself, well, I didn't say it to myself. I said it to him. I go, yeah, you know what? You might be right. Look, I mean, USC, NC State, Creighton, Villanova, we maybe that's more of what we are, but we never really had a top five or maybe a bona fide top 15 team. So maybe this is just a little bit over our head. And then right after I said that, all of a sudden we start chipping away. And it felt like the Creighton game again. And I really thought we had a chance, but then I also said to myself, no, this is going to be too good to be true. There's no way. There's no way the basketball gods are going to grant me this wish tonight.
What do you think, Christina?
I felt like the Yukon fans were loud. Like the Villanova fans did not seem quite so loud. Like maybe there were just more of them, I don't know. But you definitely like when they went on a run, you heard it. Not to say our fans weren't loud too, but they were definitely notable.
At one point, though, I think it was Scott. It was when we were down 2 or 1, and we started pressing under the basket. I thought the roof was going to blow off the place. It was so loud, and I thought when they were bringing the ball up the court and we were down 1, I thought we had it, and then the game changer. Let's be honest, was a foul on Bud Clark. Bud getting fouled on the game. Bobby, what's up?
Not sleep.
We
What's
missed
up, my
you.
guy?
How are you?
Hey, Blackjack.
I'm on adrenaline right now, so hopefully by the end of this weekend I'll be back to normal. But what's up, fellas?
Not much.
Not
we
much. How
just
you doing?
we just had a blackjack moment. So Brian Webster popped a question. So I said, okay, that's fair. We're gonna answer his question, and then we gave Pirate Crew a shout out, so we'll give Pirate Vibes a shout out. And then one of us said, well, I met Patrick Madden, or what's his name? Patrick Madden. I said, him, I don't know if we could talk about. I said, Brian Webster, I think's okay, but I don't know. We got to get a ruling. We got to get a ruling from Blackjack on Madden.
Yeah, that's why I pressed this. But I heard that part. I said no.
Okay.
Anyway, real quick, I know it's getting late. People have to go to work tomorrow.
Yeah.
Not me. My work tomorrow is the women's game at 7:00. But I just thought really that it's a loss that's also a win. If we would have gotten our doors blown out like it was looking like in the start of the second half, you would have been demoralized, right? We would have been like, UConn, typical UConn kicking our butts. But we came back and we made it a game. Again, I know it was mentioned that I was listening to Shaw on the way home, with the free throws, 3-point shots, any combination of the two, and we had this game. And I'm telling you, like Nick, I think I heard you say this before on the way home when I was driving. Danny Hurley is he's gonna go stop at Mohegan Sun on the way back and play some roulette because he got lucky tonight.
Yeah, he did. Yep.
I had the whole front row in front of me, the baseline guests laughing. So when Caravan was there, I'm like, Caravan, I think it's time for a big boy job now. Go away,
Yeah, how many years have when I asked Alex that, I honestly, right? He's at least been 5 years, right? Like, how much? Yeah,
exactly. We'll get a big boy job already.
No, I think he was 4, right?
Was not impressed with solo ball.
Solo ball's gone downhill. His career is kind of taken a little.
I was expecting a dynamic game, and as you mentioned before, as you guys mentioned, the two guys who beat us was the big Reed and the other guard, number 2.
Yeah.
Who made all the free throw shots?
Oh, Demery, Silas Demery.
Yeah. Otherwise, you guys were right. What an electric crowd. I mean, I haven't heard that in a long time.
Yeah, it was fun.
The Creighton game, that was pretty intense too. That crowd was loud at that Creighton game. I couldn't believe what I saw. That's last Sunday or whatever it was. The Sunday before, whenever it was. That was intense too. We've had good crowds, good exciting crowds this year. Starting with that Rutgers game, I think.
Yeah, and quick preview for tomorrow night. I don't know if you guys realize, Nick, you going tomorrow night? You
know what? I'm gonna try. I just as we were talking, I was trying to. I have a meeting at 7:30. I can dismiss myself. I'll explain to you why. But at 7:45, I could probably dismiss myself. So yeah, I may join you guys.
Yeah, it might be worth it because I was checking with Mr. Hathaway, who has gone to bed, I believe.
Yeah.
But both teams have identical records.
Okay.
I got you, Christine. Night.
Good night, Christina. Thank you.
Yeah, so both teams have identical records, so this should be barn burner tomorrow night. So
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it.
I'm
and
going to email Sweeney when we're done for my credentials and then see. Yeah.
otherwise,
That's an
guys,
important
what do you guys
thing
think?
for him.
Like I said, I'm just popping on. Last one is always as I get home. Frank, how'd you beat me home? Oh, that's right. I stayed for the presser. Duh. So I
Where did
have
you
both
sit?
pressers recorded. I'll post them tonight
Hey,
after I watch
Bobby,
Landman.
Bobby, where did you sit? I was looking for you. I snuck down and I
I
wound
am
up sitting
right.
next.
I'm in a very weird spot. It's like the first row, which basically belongs to myself, my guy Joey, who's one of my guys, Jaden Daly, and Jason Garrett.
Oh, so
Uh,
you were lower than where Bill was.
oh yeah. He's about 5-6 rows behind me. I'm on the floor. I mean, I'm right under the basket.
Okay, because
So
I couldn't find it. Bill actually told me you were back in the back room, and then I was talking to Jake and I was talking to Bill, and then I look over and I see Nick's son with a boot on his foot.
Yeah.
yeah,
You
Nick,
all right?
what's up with your family, man? And we need some bubble
I
wrap
know.
in our
That's
house.
2 boots. I know.
We need some
I
bubble
know.
wrap over there. Now, like I said, I think it's a great game that's gonna kind of foreshadow what's to come. As the I wish I would have known the UConn reporter was there. I would have said hello to him. I didn't realize he
Nice
was there.
kid. Really nice kid.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was trying
like
to
I said,
find you. I was trying to
yeah,
find you. Bill told me you were down and you were, I don't know, in one of the other rooms down below somewhere.
yeah. I got SCU right behind me. So, and then right behind me was Joe Morales and all the Pirate Nation, and then you have the Pirate Sports Network. Then you have the guys doing the camera. So I'm right in that little enclave right there, right behind that first row of
He's got a good
space.
spot. He's about 3 rows in front of Bill.
Okay.
Like I gotta
All right,
pay
now I know where to
attention, or
look
else I'll
for
get
that
hit in the face
Sunday.
with a ball.
Yeah.
If there's no one in front of me. But like I said, good loss tonight. I know people are saying that's not a good loss, not a thing. No, it's a thing when you come back against number 3 team in the country and prove your mettle, prove that you can do it. And like
That's
Dick
right.
said before, it's experience. You got to learn how to win. You got to learn
Yeah.
how to lose. You got to learn how to win the close games.
Exactly.
And
And
we could have rolled
we
over
showed
and
we
we
can.
left for dead. We could have rolled over and just said forget about it and tried to go to work on Saturday, but we made a game of it. Absolutely.
I mentioned this in the chat before, and I don't know if you guys had seen it. Again, I hate to rag on a player, but what's his name doing in the starting lineup?
AJ?
No, that's Fisher.
Fisher.
Oh,
I don't see anything from him. I mean, was it an off game? I mean, I know I missed a couple games, but you look at his stat line; he does nothing.
That makes 2 points. One is Rivera off the bench at power forward. I'm loving Rivera coming
A lot of
off
energy, right?
Yeah. But the other thing is, and we've talked about this before, will we ever see Hines and Payne together? Like, will that happen? I don't know, because if that's where or I guess the question is he ever going to play Payne at the 4? Because Fisher is an undersized 4.
Now, which team's going to have the biggest big man? Is that any idea?
Nova had height. That was a problem
Right.
against Nova. And tonight with Carolina.
That kid's the shortest tonight.
Yeah.
Well,
A lot of energy. I
this team
thought
tonight, every position was taller than us, right?
Yeah.
pretty much. I thought ref with the shiny head was awful tonight.
Off my
Awful.
friend, my friend who sits next to me every game, high school official, John Gaffney's the older guy, and I was giving him grief, but he's a Big East official. He's a decent official. The other guy's a Big East official. The ball guy, nah, he was the weak spot, and the other 2 knew he was the weak spot. He was not ready for prime time at all. I don't know his name, but he wasn't good.
Yeah, like that second or third foul on Bud Clark was, I mean, he barely touched him.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just unbelievable. But if there's nothing else, guys, I think any more comments there?
I think we did. I think we got
viewers.
on. We got guests like that, a nice flow, and we're gonna keep it at an hour. So I love it. Yeah. How was your experience, Bobby? Real quick.
Dallas.
How is Dallas?
Dallas was tremendous. They only. I have to say this for another time because it's actually very comical when I look back at it. But let's just say I rented an electric car,
Right.
and I was scrambling that last day to get to the game, and then as I'm trying to, I was told I was supposed to have a certain amount of wattage in the car
Right.
when I handed in like gas, right, and drove around for over 90 minutes trying to find a charging station.
Oh my God.
Not like here where there's one every half mile. You can
Right,
find
in oil country, right?
yeah, in oil country. But the game itself was very good. There were scouts everywhere. We should have a player or two drafted late in the draft.
Wow.
I think Frank's trying to get it out. So it was good. Like I said, it was a thrill just to be there and with a live camera in AT&T Stadium, and I've been involved with this game for about 8-9 years now, maybe 10. I missed last year, but it's going places, and I think just having the game there, I was kind of stuck where I was with the camera because I was only able to bring a monopod to travel with me. I didn't have my usual tripods like I have. So I don't want someone to bump into it and knock the camera over. It's a very expensive camera. So, but there were some definite old time Cowboys walking around. The game was really good. The fans were into it, and there was some real good talent out there. So it should be good. And real quick before we go, I'm not gonna spill the beans just now, but major press release coming out soon regarding Surge Sports.
Good.
And it's gonna take us to a next level.
Nice.
I love Surge Sports. I'm a fan. I promote it everywhere. I promote it on here. Thank you, Bobby. Thank you, Surge Sports. And
You're right.
I can't wait to hear.
All I gotta say is get your soccer acumen ready if you want to do some soccer games. Last thoughts, Frank?
Well, as I said, I'm just a lot more encouraged after the disappointment of what could have been, after reality's hitting, to see what we were able to do against what's going to be probably the number 2 team in the nation now that Iowa State lost. And as long as UConn takes care of business and beats Georgetown on Saturday, we went toe to toe actually with the number 2 team in the nation. And then we just have to hold serve at home against Butler. And I'll be there, and I'll see both of you guys then. And the women's game tomorrow night, huge game. Let's beat Marquette.
Yeah, we got to climb into that top 3 position and hopefully beat Nova on their return trip back to us.
Yes,
and fight for that number 2 seed. Like Coach has mentioned, and I'll probably obviously I'll see Coach tomorrow. We'll get the Coach Boss show back on track with the holidays and stuff and my travel schedule. But you want to avoid UConn until it's the finals.
That's right.
So you want to get in that bracket where. By the way, I watched that UConn game from up in the mountains when I was up there at the resort. Come on, get out of the league. Go play the SEC schedule already. Come on.
They have to play a WNBA schedule.
Yeah, last year they persevered, but they will never get a number 1 seed in their own tournament because they play a weak schedule. They were number 2 seed last year, if you remember. I mean, they might sneak in there, but
but I don't think they had some losses last year. They lost to USC, right? And they lost. Didn't they lose 2 games? They're not losing anything this year.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, go to the Big East. Go down south. Come on, leave us alone. Give everybody a chance to compete. Well, but in hindsight, we had this really good recruiting class coming in next year for the women, including 6'5" center. So I hope she's ready to beat play against what's her name, because she has at least 1 more year left.
Strong.
Yeah, the big strong. Yeah. I'm sorry, but anyway, Frank, final thoughts. I'm sorry, cut you off there.
Oh no, I already went with my final thoughts. But once again, great talking to you guys, and it was a fun night. Now that I think about it, and the ultimate after my heart got ripped out, and it's back in there now. I'm going to be able to sleep peacefully after talking to you guys.
Yeah. Nick, final thoughts.
I think when we look back, and we've been doing this for a year straight. No one thought we'd be 14-3, that we'd be 25th in the country, that we'd be on the verge of beating UConn, that we're talking about the NCAA tournament, that we have a team that the whole country is talking about. And that's a good thing. And you don't, you just want to keep it going, and you want to have fun, and you want to enjoy the ride. So all Seton Hall fans out there, let's just, enjoy the ride.
I thought it was apropos. I'm a big CBS sports guy, and Matt Norlander was there tonight. He does a lot of college basketball. He's probably one of the top, if not the top analyst they have on CBS Sports.
Yeah.
But as soon as UConn obviously spoke first, a few of the players, Caravan, the big guy, and the guy who shot all the foul shots. Then Coach Hurley comes out, and as soon as they went in, he went in. So he wasn't here for us; he was here for UConn. But still good to see him checking the game out, and he sees us up and close now. So he saw with his own two eyes what we can be this year. And, that's important. And I know Paul went to bed. I wanted to, next time I see him, he'd be happy to know that I read one of the bracketologists, updates for this week, and they had Yale in. They had a lot of New York teams in. So
wow.
Paul should be happy. All right, Nick, take us off.
Thank you, guys. Great show. Thank you to everyone that popped on. Our guest list just keeps growing. Like I said before, Christina has an amazing Rolodex. Bobby Blackjack, thank you so much for Surge Sports for giving all of us this opportunity. Appreciate it so much. And it just keeps, like I said, everyone's welcome. Frank, you came on, and then you brought us Jake. And Jake was amazing tonight. So, and Tom O'Brien found us, and I love hearing Coach Tom's insights from down in North Carolina. And
awesome to have him.
So it's just, this is great. I love this opportunity, and hopefully we'll have another crew for Saturday after Butler, and go Pirates.
Yeah, Saturday I'll be in the mountains this weekend working. I got my NYPD group comes up this weekend. So 1:00 I should be real free, watch the game, and maybe run the show for give Christina a break on Saturday.
Yeah, I know Christina actually can't make Saturday, so that'd be perfect.
All right, yeah, I'll take control Saturday.
All right, cool.
All right, gentlemen.
Thank you.
And I guess as I see here a few perspectives, and during the game, Butler's a must-win. We got to keep that our momentum in the first half, top half of the Big East, and keep it going.
Yep. Thank you, everyone.
All right. Good night, guys.
Good night. God bless. Good night.
All right.